Hey guys, it's the Uniformed Historian, and today I'm coming to you with our annual Halloween episode. This story that I'm about to relay to you is just the right mix of spooky, eerie, and historical. So grab yourself a tall glass of apple cider or a hot cup of tea or something, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Halloween episode of the Uniformed Historian. And before I get started, guys, let me just say that I am running this page completely on donations from viewers and subscribers like you, so please, if you have a moment to donate $1 or $2 to help cover expenses to keep the page going, I'll put some information at the end of this for you to check out. I really appreciate any donations that you guys can contribute. So today's story takes place in Caroline County, Virginia. It's about a young soldier by the name of Dallas Bruce. He was born in 1844 in Caroline County, Virginia, and when the Civil War came, he enlisted as a private in the 47th Virginia Infantry at Port Royal, Virginia. That was on June 21st, 1861, and after that, young Dallas just has a very, shall we say, interesting military experience. He was AWOL as of July of 62. He comes back that December. He's court-martialed the following February, and he's sentenced to 6 months of hard labor at Castle Thunder. And then he goes back into the hospital at Chimborazo throughout a lot more of his service with just various diseases. He was in the hospital quite a bit during his term of service. He returns to service, however, from the latest sickness, and he finds himself wounded in the right leg in October 1864 at Petersburg, Virginia, and that sends him right back to the hospital, and then he's given a 60-day furlough to return home. He is paroled the following May, on May 21st, 1865, in Bowling Green, Virginia, where he lived the rest of his life. After the war in 1865, he married a woman by the name of Sarah Noel, and she gave him 5 children. However, the marriage was not to last. They would separate, and he would go on to have another girlfriend after they separated, but this is where the story starts to get really interesting. In 1896, July 1st to be exact, there was a Confederate Veterans Reunion in Richmond, Virginia that he went to. And it was well known among his friends and those who knew him that he was going to this party loaded with cash. He had about $400 on his person. Where the money came from, I could not tell you. I've not been able to locate that information, but it is known that he went to this party with a bunch of his buddies with $400 on his person, and he was seen at this reunion just enjoying himself thoroughly, buying drinks and having a good old time, laughing and joking with all of his old comrades, talking about the good old days. Dallas leaves this party, this reunion, and he's never heard from again. He disappears somewhere on his way home. Some time passes and people begin to realize, hey, has anybody seen Dallas? Has anybody heard from Dallas lately? Does anybody remember Private Bruce? Wasn't he at that party? No one's heard from him since then. So several of his friends get together and they go on a search party to look for him. And they're retracing steps and they're finding clues here and there. But 2 of his friends, John Goldman and Stephen Watts, were the ones who actually located him. As it turns out, he had actually separated from his wife, and he had been seen frequenting the home of a local black woman, which at that time was considered very scandalous. That just did not happen. So they go to this woman's house to see if she has heard from Dallas, and just on a whim, they start, kind of perusing the premises and looking around, and one of these 2 gentlemen get the bright idea to open up a pickle barrel that happens to be there at the house. And when they opened up the pickle barrel, they found pieces of Dallas. He had been chopped up by a jealous mistress and stuffed into pickle barrels. The pickling process did such a good job preserving him that they were able to piece the pieces back together and make a positive identification. It was all over the news. It was in Confederate veteran reading materials. It was in the local newspaper. It was the talk of the town for quite some time. His pieces were put back together, and he was interred at Green Lawn Cemetery in Caroline County, Virginia. And you can still visit his grave today. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this story. Take care, and I will see you at the next Uniformed Historian site. Oh my god, these pickles, what's in these? They're so delicious.